Time is our greatest asset. Since time is one of the things we cannot influence, it gives each of us a beginning and an end. This makes us question how we use what comes between. We all have a desire to create something to show that we were here and create something of value, to create something timeless. It's all a question of how we consistently invest our thoughts, because our thoughts are our most valuable currency. There's an awesome Harvard Business Review which talks about how time management won't save you. In it, they talked about time being like digging a hole in the sand. As you dig a deeper hole, the more water can get in. So as you have more time, people will fill it. Things will come in. Problems and challenges will come at you. You will have more coming at you because you have more time and space. So we don't manage time, but we can manage what we do with our time. And it's becoming more and more constricted as we get more information coming at us, more decisions, and people are asking us more questions and trying to get more things out of us. Decision fatigue is something that's here and now, and it's affecting everybody, including you. And if you're an entrepreneur like me and the types of folks that I deal with, it's really tough because there's so much to think about, to do, and then there's always new things coming in, new fires to put out, and so on. So decision fatigue, let's talk about that. First thing you can do about decision fatigue is to have standards or principles. So when you think about decision fatigue, it's because you don't have something that you can rely on. You don't have a standard or principles that you can rely on. So you will be making the same decision over and over again with the similar situations and similar problems, but you don't have to. You could have a set of standards, and once you have those set of standards, those are the standards that people will come to you and ask questions based on that or make decisions based on those standards. And Tim Ferriss wrote that if you could find one decision that removes 100 decisions, that's a great principle. If you could find one decision that removes 100, then you can eliminate the amount of decisions you need to make in a day. And if you have standards, just like I teach entrepreneurs to have standards for themselves and their team, then the standards do the policing. You don't have to answer every single question, because oftentimes what I find is that entrepreneurs are answering the same questions at different times and different periods throughout the month or the year. And it's avoidable. You can completely avoid it and stop wasting time, because time is something that we don't control, like I said in the beginning. If you want to avoid decision fatigue, grab the Stop Doing exercise I included below. It's going to help you to create an avoid at all costs list. It's in the description below. Just grab it now and get to work on it. Once you do this, you'll see how things in your life will change automatically. So grab it now and put it to use. The other thing that we want to recognize is that you can do things like what Steve Jobs did. He had the same outfit. He had multiple outfits of the same kind, and he just keeps wearing the same ones every single day. Why? Decision fatigue. He doesn't have to decide what to wear each day. Why would we do that? Well, because it could shave off minutes, maybe even hours. Because if you think about it, if you have an outfit, and if you're a guy like me, then you need to get dry cleaning done, and you need to pick out that stuff up, and then you need to decide what to wear, and the matching, shoes or tie or shirt or jacket or hat. All of those kinds of things get removed just by having one set of clothes, a uniform. In fact, when I was in university, I had an astronomy teacher, and he would wear the same outfit every single class. Now, I began to wonder after a while why he was showing up with the same pants and sweater, and how could he wear them every single day without them getting dirty? And the fact is, that was his uniform. So he would come in, change out of his street clothes, put on his uniform, teach a class. When he was done, go hang up his uniform, his outfit, and then go back to his street clothes. Very simple way to shave off time. So there's many things you can do, and I have so many solutions, but the key here is that you want to stop doing things. You want to stop doing things and say no to things so that you make space for the kinds of things and events and circumstances that are going to cause you to feel good and to move the needle on your life and your business, at the end of the day, you want to be able to think about or write down some things that really made you feel proud, that you were proud of doing that day and that you completed and accomplished. Because if you didn't, then you might think about it in a negative way and beat yourself up and realize, hey, I didn't do the things I wanted to today. Why? Because I let things interrupt me. I let people into my space. I let a problem that wasn't mine influence me and impact me. And now I'm stuck having to put that task on tomorrow's list. And you know what happens after a while? Those tasks can get stacked up. And by the end of the week, you might have a dozen or more. And they have to be done probably over the weekend. So then you put evenings and weekends in trying to catch up on tasks that could have been done more effectively if you had limitations and principles and better use of your time. The other thing that I'd like to share with you is that, you can use structure, not willpower, to minimize distractions. So when you think about that for a second. So structure, not willpower, because willpower, you start off with this much every day and it winds down. And then you need to go to bed, sleep, and refresh, and then start all over again. By Friday afternoon, your willpower for the week might be down to here, and you're just ready for Netflix and some takeout. And that's not going to be effective in the long run, because if you keep repeating that pattern over and over again, then you won't accomplish things. And perhaps you want to take Fridays off, but you can't because you keep stacking things up and then running out of willpower come Friday afternoon. All right, the other thing that I would like to share is that Sean Parker of Facebook, president of Facebook, they have something called vulnerability in human psychology. They use this to steal your attention. So social networks are very smart. So you're up against some really tough individuals. They understand the psychology of human vulnerability. And if that's what you're up against, then they have so much more power and ability and strength to keep you entertained and keep you engaged. And if you don't realize that, you get hooked. So you have to really limit your time on social networks and use it purposely. And one thing you can do, which I think is super amazing, and I've read many articles where people are doing this, you can actually have Wi-Fi shut off on your computer or your phone, so you can have quiet time or downtime. You can also set a timer for your Wi-Fi, literally. So for our Wi-Fi, we have a timer that goes off every night, and that is digital time and technical time off. It shuts off, and that's it till next day. No questions asked. We could turn it back on, but we don't. Why? Because we committed to shutting things off at that time. No blue screens, and that way we can manage our time and our space much better. The other thing I wanted to share with you is there's a CEO named Kathy, our former CEO, Kathy Engelbert. She has something called small moments of recovery, SMOREs. And these small moments of recovery give you gaps between meetings. And if you don't have these small moments of recovery, then one meeting leads to another, and you don't have time to reflect on what you did and to plan for your actions that you're going to take as a result of that meeting. And that's really ineffective. So it might be like you have all these Zoom meetings and you have a meeting and you finish and you took all sorts of notes, but you want to sum up a couple things that you're going to do and then take action on those. Well, if you don't get that done, then you're preparing for your next meeting and then they'll stack up again. And then once again, you have to refresh your memory and go back, take notes. Again, your time is being crunched and compressed, and you don't need to do that. You could have these small moments of recovery so that you don't get caught up. So the key here is that you can stop doing things so that you can start doing something else. You need to stop using your time ineffectively. And a Pomodoro or tomato timer is an amazing solution for that. Let's say, for example, you have a project that you're doing and you want to set an hour or less to do that project. So you give yourself that limited time, and what you commit to is doing 2 Pomodoros. That's 2. Only 2, because they're 25 minutes each. You set the timer, you start off with 25 minutes. Once that goes off, you set a 5-minute break, and then you get started again in another 25 minutes. If you finished earlier, great. Then you just bought yourself some time. You might take a longer break, or you might do something else. But the key here is you're limiting your time using Parkinson's law, and that way you will only fill that time and space with what you said you're going to do and not get distracted and do everything else. Why? Because you said you're going to take 2 Pomodoros, 2 25-minute increments to do the task that you're going to do. And that's how you manage your time way more effectively. But again, the key here is stopping things, stopping from doing things. Because if you are continuously doing things and saying yes all day long and in your life to new projects, new ideas, and you don't realize the implications of saying yes to them, then it can create huge problems. One other thing that you can do, which I've read many articles about, and this is psychologically proven, that you can do something about how people impact your time. And what I've recommended and what I do is that I limit the amount of time that I'm available for my team and for others to contact me. And if you want a great suggestion, I got this from Eben Pagan, who's a great teacher and business leader. He's done over $100 million in his business, and he suggested that you have a voice message and a text message that says, the voice message says that if you reach me and you're getting my voice message, then I'm checking messages at say 11:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. I will check my messages and respond back to you then. If this is urgent, then send me a text message. Now the critical thing here is they have to decide whether it's urgent. So if it isn't urgent and they send you a text message, then basically they're going to humiliate themselves, which is one of the things that humans do not want to do. So again, you cannot control your time. You can control your actions. Those are the only things you can control. You only control what you're doing on a daily basis. And if you say no to a lot of things, like you can say no to 80 to 90% of the things that come your way every single day. And when you do that, then you make more space for yourself. But you have to know that you're going to use that time and that space effectively. Let's say, for example, somebody cancels a meeting. Well, you might think, well, I lost an opportunity there. Think differently. That is an opportunity for you to do something better with your time. Sometimes you dodge bullets. Somebody doesn't show up for a meeting or cancels a meeting, and then you have more time and space to do something that's more valuable, more productive. So ask yourself an effective question the next time that happens and somebody cancels. Ask yourself, what's the best thing that I can do with my time now that I have this extra time and space in my day? That I don't have to prepare for a meeting and I don't have to attend it. So think about it like that. And know that when you stop doing things, you make space for better things. New, bigger, and better things. And I'm going to give you a tool that I've been mentioning throughout this video. It is down below. Grab it. It's a little exercise, and this exercise is going to change your life. So it's in the description below. Just grab that, and you will it'll make a huge difference. Once you start figuring out what's getting in your way, and you have this avoid at all costs list, this stop doing list, then you can avoid huge interruptions and generate more gaps of time so that you can get what you want done. So thanks for listening. Speak soon.